now?
Can't see it. I can see it now. Welcome to another session with Stress Teflon author, Luke Mathers. How are you, Luke?
I'm very well, mate. Very well. Had a lovely Easter.
Nice. Stayed away from people?
I did, sadly enough.
Hey. So, mate, today we're going to talk about serotonin.
Yes.
So if I'm trapped at home, why do I care?
About serotonin?
Yeah.
Well, serotonin's your pride from inside hormone. It's that hormone that actually makes you feel good about being you. Okay. All right. And one of the things is that we get a lot of that pride from inside from being out and doing the things we do in our workplaces, doing the exercises we do. You hit a new high in your bench press, you get a big hit of serotonin, it's all really good. And there's lots of things that we do in our life that give us serotonin. And it's one of those warm, fuzzy hormones that makes you feel really good about being you. Okay. One of the hassles of being stuck at home and not really doing a lot and walking around kicking stones because you're not really getting anything done is that your serotonin levels are likely to drop because you're not feeling that pride from inside. You're not feeling that it's good being me feeling. So that's a serotonin and anxiety match? They have an inverse effect. The more serotonin you have, usually the less anxiety. All right. So if you're not getting the feel good from inside vibe going at the moment, you need to work on that. Yeah, well, you just need to find where you get your pride from, where you feel good about being you. And that's one of the main things. Because remember, like we've talked about with all of these, everything about human motivation is all about we go towards the things that feel good, we pull away from the things that don't, and we try and take the path of least resistance. So we take the easiest way. All right. And serotonin is definitely one of those. It feels good, so I'm going to do it again. Okay. So it's that whole sort of positive reinforcement thing. So, mate, some of the things that we should look at to work out if we are serotonin deficient, like obviously anxiousness is possibly one. Yep. Depression, that feeling that... Phobias? Beg pardon? Phobias, like germ phobia I've got? Probably not. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that's a serotonin one. Okay. But serotonin is definitely when the biggest antidepressants on the market are all things called selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Okay. Right, which is a way of me putting 4 words together to sound smart. You sound quite intelligent then. What an SSRI does, and that's all your ones like Lexapro, Zoloft, Prozac, all of those, your big, massive, drug companies making millions out of these things. And one of the issues with them is that the doctors are pretty much handing them out like Smarties. Couple of reasons for that. One is there's not a lot of really adverse side effects to them. Some people do get some side effects, but there's not many. And in about 50% of cases with depression, giving someone an SSRI actually works pretty well. And it's a real weird one that it's not, serotonin isn't the sort of magic bullet for fixing depression. Serotonin is one of those things that works for some people and doesn't for others. Okay. There's quite a few theories on that. One of them is that serotonin actually has a bit of an effect of decreasing some of the inflammation in your brain. And there's a lot of evidence to suggest that some depression is actually due to inflammation in your brain. And if you've ever had a hangover and that feeling you get when, no, I've never had one either. Never had one either, mate. Haven't had one since the 90s. That feeling of depression when you've had a big night out and your brain's inflamed from all the alcohol and I just don't want to get off the couch. I feel terrible. I don't have any motivation to do anything. And if you speak to someone that's had really chronic depression, they say without the sickness, it kind of feels like that. You're just not motivated to do anything. And there's a fair bit of evidence that the SSRIs, the things that keep serotonin in your system longer, actually have a beneficial effect on that inflammation in your brain. Hey, well, mate, that's a positive move forward. So what do we do in our day? Like we're stuck at home, we've got social isolation. What do we do to get that good feel? What are some of the things? There's 2 ways. Some of them involve you and serotonin is very much a social hormone. It's designed to pull teams together. All right. So it's a hormone that's actually designed to make us more social. Have you ever had that feeling where your kids got up on the stage and they've received an award from school or they've got the medal for winning the race or whatever it is? It's like getting it yourself. It's exactly like it yourself. And you sit there, your head tilts to one side, and you go, oh, isn't that lovely? That's so nice. And isn't that great? And it feels awesome. It feels great. The thing that makes that feel great, the carrot that your body's giving you to make you want to do that again, is serotonin. So you're getting serotonin when you're watching someone in your tribe achieve something and something do something well. So having people around you that are doing good things and you're really proud of is part of it. Doing stuff for other people is another part of it. I tell a story in Stress Teflon about driving to the gym and seeing this old bloke with a bag of KFC walking diagonally across a really busy intersection, and thinking, this doesn't
look good.
No, I noticed the KFC because I'm a bit of a fan of the Dirty Bird, but so I've seen this guy and he's kind of lost. He's in the middle of the intersection. He's going to get run over. So I've parked my car in a way that no one else could hit him. And I sort of got out and said, what's up, mate? Do you want to hop in and I'll drive you wherever you got to go? And so he's got in the car. He was really disorientated and really worried. And we pulled over to the side and I said, do you know your address? Where do you live? And you could tell he had dementia and he wasn't thinking real great. And it turned out about 2 hours earlier, he'd gone out to get lunch for him and his wife. He came out of KFC and instead of turning left, he turned right and ended up 3 or 4 Ks down the road, lost in an intersection until I picked him up and sort of drove him home and delivered him back to his wife with his cold KFC. And
so he was just cruising down the street, had no idea where he was.
Cruising, had no idea, completely lost, had his walking stick, had his cold bag of KFC, and he just didn't know where he was. But
mate, what a great guy too. Like obviously, what'd you say, several hours?
Yeah, he went out at midday and this was 4 PM.
And he still hadn't ripped into the KFC.
Still hadn't ripped into the KFC.
Champion.
Yeah, he was a champion old bloke too. But the point of this story is that when I dropped him off and I went upstairs and met his wife had no idea he was gone. So he was gone for 4 hours. So she had her cold KFC and off she went. But I got back in the car and I just took a minute to sort of say, well done, Luke. You really helped that old bloke out. He was a lovely old fella. And I felt really, really good about being me for helping Jack.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that gives you serotonin, doing something for someone else, but also making sure that you notice it. And by noticing, I don't mean blow sunshine up your own bum. What I mean is sort of say, I've done something good for someone there. Well done, me. Let's do that again. That feels good. And just noticing that good feeling. And so these people that are going out and helping the elderly couple up the road to get their shopping, and our next door neighbours were in isolation after coming back from holidays overseas, and we go and do their shopping for them and stuff. It feels really good. You could look at it as, it's a pain in the bum. I've got to do their shopping for them. But you can also look at them and say, that's awesome. I'm part of their tribe and we're helping each other out. And you get serotonin from that. And it's one of those things that really does help with depression and helps with that sort of stuff. So
good mood. So if you do good things, you get good mood.
Absolutely. It's all about, it's a mood altering neurotransmitter. It's actually, most of it's produced in the gut as well. So if you're having issues with your digestive system, as often happens when you're really, really stressed, because remember, stress prioritizes different things. And one of the things it doesn't prioritize is your digestive system. So if your digestive system is playing up, you're not going to produce the amount of serotonin you need to actually feel good about yourself. So it becomes really important. It almost becomes a spiral that can go the wrong way if you don't eat the right things, stress too much, and then all of a sudden you're not producing enough serotonin, and you then feel flat. Then you get really worried because you're not doing anything, and you get into a spiral of depression that ends up walking around in a big dark place and kicking stones. So serotonin is a really important chemical for that.
You got any foods you prefer to rip into the serotonin? You'd be talking tryptophan-rich foods, wouldn't you?
Yeah, tryptophan definitely, because that's one of the precursors of serotonin for sure.
So rip into a protein or some turkey or some nuts and salmon, all those type of things.
Yeah, all of that stuff's really good for that.
Stuff with good amino acids,
Yeah.
So, that's right. You wrote a book on stress Teflon, didn't you?
Yeah, I didn't write on diet, mate. You're
nutrition.
my nutrition expert. Yeah, I don't sell subs. But it's just, I do. Fair enough that the whole reason I wrote this book was because of serotonin.
Okay.
I went to the doctor and I was just feeling a little bit flat. I live in Lukeland. I live in a place where unicorns fart rainbows and everything's nice and everything's wonderful, and I'm the ultimate optimist. And I went to my doctor and said, mate, I'm just not quite getting into it. I had, my business was going great. My wife and daughter were great. Everything was good, but I wasn't sort of feeling as into life as I normally am. And I spoke to my doctor and told him about it. And after about 3 or 4 sentences, he actually just gave me some of these SSRIs. He gave me some Prozac and said, have some of this, you'll feel better.
Wow.
And I actually started taking it because I trust doctors and did all that. And then the nerd in me came to the surface and said, well, let's work out what this is.
What's it doing?
Yeah, I worked out what a serotonin reuptake inhibitor was. I then worked out how to get serotonin and then said, well, why am I taking these tablets to do it? Why don't I just put my heart and soul into all the things that I normally put my heart and soul into? And then all of a sudden, and then you shouldn't actually need the tablets. And that's what I did.
So can we jump on that for a fact? Like you brought a really good point up there. You looked at the drugs and you looked at what created naturally in the body. Mm-hmm. So what did you do from a stress Teflon perspective in your day to change to make that happen?
The biggest one, it's a really good question because the biggest thing about it is we do so many things in our day that help people, and we do so many things that contribute to our tribe. And serotonin is all about contributing to your tribe, watching your tribe do good things and you doing good things for them, because we're tribal beasts as humans.
Is it the watching of it or the acknowledging that you've been part of it? So it's the actually going, hey, I've done a good thing here. Yeah,
you don't need anyone to tell you.
Yep.
All right, you don't need anyone to say, you don't need anyone else to acknowledge it. You just need to acknowledge it yourself.
Good job.
All right. Yeah, good job. And you don't have to, it's just a good job in your head. You don't even have to have it from anywhere else. But there's something about putting your heart and soul into it and noticing. Because let's face it, when you notice yourself doing something good, you're more likely to do it again.
Yeah.
Everything you think, well, I did that this way and it worked out well. Oh, okay, well, we might do that next time. Things like, imagine every time you had birthday cake as a kid, your dad clipped you over the back of the head. You probably wouldn't like birthday cake very much. But birthday cake has lots of sugar in it, makes you feel good. Everyone sings, everyone's happy. It's something you get on your birthdays as a kid. Everyone loves birthday cake because everything about it makes you feel good. And serotonin is a bit like that, but we need to take notice of the good things in our life to be able to get the full appreciation of it.
Sweet. Mate, so if we're at home and we're isolated,
mm-hmm.
and so we've got some problems with the whole doing good things for other people, unless, grab a vacuum, cook dinner or spend some time with the kids type thing. Can you do things like, can you bring on serotonin levels by thinking happy thoughts, going back to old holidays in your head, patting your dog,
Yeah, patting your dog's actually a really weird one. I read some science on that the other day. That there's another one that we're going to talk about in this series about neurotransmitters that's about oxytocin. And oxytocin is a cuddle hormone. It's the hormone that you get when you hug people. It's a really
Let's stay on serotonin.
Okay, but you get that from looking at your dog and patting your dog.
From looking at your dog. Okay.
Yeah, you look your dog in the eyes, you'll get a hit of oxytocin, and so will your dog.
What about your kids?
Yeah, well, probably the same thing with them. But even things like catching up with people you haven't caught up with for a while, and noticing that it feels good to do that.
So you can't do that because we're in social isolation.
Well, you can ring them, you can FaceTime them.
So ringing people, we're getting it from all these different methods as long as we we get out and do stuff. Okay.
My wife Karen had her 50th birthday on yesterday.
Yes, she
and
did.
we couldn't have people around, any of that sort of stuff. We all social isolated like we were meant to. But we had a Zoom room with about 60 people in it, and she had no idea that it was going on. All right. And so she's in there. She's so excited to see all her friends and all her people. She's Irish, so she had family from overseas and stuff. And I'd organised it all and sent out all the emails and stuff. And I felt really good about being me.
Yeah.
I'm not always the greatest husband in the world, but I felt really good about that. And all I did was organise a whole bunch of people to be there to say happy birthday to my wife.
Yeah,
and it felt good being me. It felt good being her. It felt good for every single person who was in that Zoom room, because even though they couldn't be there to celebrate the birthday with their friend, they were part of it. And that part of it. Contribution of a tribe, and that's where serotonin comes from. If we didn't have serotonin, we wouldn't be as tribal as we are. And that the safety of a tribe is one of the key foundations of stress Teflon. You've got to have the safety of a tribe, and serotonin is one of the things that reinforces that. Nice,
mate. So talking safety of the tribe, and once again, I'm going to bring this back to being home and isolated and all the things that are going down at the moment. Things like, and obviously with a partner that you can get close to and stuff, things like massage and touch, do they help with serotonin at all?
I guess they would. I'm not too sure, to tell you the truth. a lot of that sort of stuff is probably more an oxytocin thing, but I'm sure that sort of, aren't I really nice? I've given my wife a massage is probably going to feel pretty good.
Well, yeah, that's going to make you feel
anything that
good,
makes you feel proud of being you, I guess, is where serotonin comes from.
Okay, cool.
So it's even just things like, are you okay day, asking people those sorts of things. It makes you feel like you are contributing to your tribe, and you've got to contribute. The three things of stress Teflon, the three things that make stress not stick are the safety of a tribe, pride from contributing to it, and serotonin is a massive overlap.
Massive one of that, yeah.
And then on a self-awareness, that not bullshitting yourself. All right. Okay. And when you have those three, that's the sort of foundations of stress Teflon. And if you have those three, serotonin is a big part of that. It's a really big part of that because it pulls all of those three together. You can't bullshit to yourself that you've done something really good if you haven't. You know what I mean? If you've phoned something in and haven't really done what you should and all of that sort of stuff, you can rationalize it however you like, but you're not going to buy it.
Okay.
And you're going to know you're rationalizing.
Fair enough. Mate, what about the environment, like dark places, light places, loud places, TV on, background? Any issues or problems there with serotonin?
I'm not too sure, to tell you the truth.
Wow.
Yeah.
You normally have an answer for everything. What's going on?
Yeah, no, I don't have one for that. No,
you don't?
Certainly your diurnal variations in things like melatonin and stuff like that are very light dependent and stuff like that. Your vitamin D's and all of that's really important. But I'm not quite sure where that goes with serotonin. I couldn't tell you. Well,
I'm not an expert, but I'm going to say get outside for 10, 15 minutes every day, get some sun on you. It's going to make you feel good about yourself. Yeah.
Well, I think we talked about this in one of the other ones, that trying to get out into the sunlight early in the morning and don't wear your sunglasses.
Yep.
If you get out there early in the morning, particularly at dawn, don't wear your sunglasses early on. You actually want that blue light. You want all of that because it starts your diurnal clock for the day and kicks everything off. The blue light's a really, really important thing for that. So just that first 10 or 15 minutes out in the sunlight, don't put your sunnies on, and just you're not going to do enough UV damage to worry about that. But doing that gets your diurnal, your body clock going and gets your circadian rhythm sorted out the way it's meant to and all that sort of stuff. And then conversely, try and limit the amount of blue light late in the night.
Yep. So if I'm homebound again, I've been home for, some people are saying 50, 60 days now. Exercise, is that doing anything for my serotonin?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Because you're noticing that I've done something good. Remember, every time you notice yourself doing something good, you get serotonin. Exercise is a really good one because you get both serotonin, you get dopamine. There's lots of other ones, like things like endorphins are good, but endorphins only really mask physical pain.
Okay. Yeah.
And the name of it, glucocorticoids, the ones from marijuana, cannabinoids. The cannabinoids, which are the same chemicals that get released in your brain when you smoke marijuana or take marijuana. You actually get a lot of those same things when you exercise as well. It can be reasonably, that's why exercise is a little bit addictive as well, that your endocannabinoids are a really big part of exercise and they make you feel great.
Okay.
There's a really cool book called The Joy of Movement by a lady from Stanford called Kelly McGonigal. If you want to read something about why exercise is so good for your brain, read The Joy of Movement by Kelly McGonigal. It's a great book. I have we have a thing that we put out with a group of people I'm involved with called thought grenades. And one of the best thought grenades I've ever heard was exercise is the Batman of mental health and the Robin of weight loss.
Nice. I like that.
You have to think about that. Batman's the one that has, Robin's there and he might help a little bit, but Batman's the star of the show. And if, Batman and exercise is really important for mental health, and it's going to help your weight loss a little bit.
Okay. So, mate, is there anything else we need to know about serotonin? Have you got 5 tips to maximize your serotonin in a drug-free environment while you're stuck at home and things are tough?
Just the first one is do good things. Notice yourself doing good things. Make sure you do things that are making your tribe better. All right.
Yeah.
If you are having trouble with things like depression and you feel like you're in a big hole, find someone you can talk to. That's just so vital.
That's great advice. Yep. Great advice.
one of the problems with digging a black hole for yourself is you just keep on digging and you don't think anyone else has ever been there. And we all have. Every single person in the world has had times when they've been down, had times when they're flat. And if there are times when that's just not getting any better, see your doctor. And some of these drugs really do work very, very well. All right. I've kind of, I didn't need them specifically at that time, but many people that do lots and lots of good stuff for. So don't be afraid to reach out. I think we've talked about this before, to have that person, try and find that person who you can be vulnerable to and you can talk to. And, if you are finding yourself digging in a black hole, go out, get some sun like you were talking about before, and know to do good things for other people. The best medicine in the whole world is helping someone else.
Nice. I'm going to add the fifth myself.
Go for your life.
Exercise. Do some exercise every day.
Every day without fail.
Keep moving. Yeah, beautiful. So, mate, what we got you, like, we get a freebie off you because you are the man who wrote Stress Teflon. What's your number one tip today for staying stress-free tomorrow?
Do something for someone else.
Ooh, nice. I might cook dinner for the family tonight. How's that?
There you go. Is the world a better place because you're in it? Has to be. And if it's not, do something positive and contribute.
I thought you were talking about the way I cook then. I'm thinking, geez, I don't know.
So long as there's a slab of meat on the barbecue, you're all right.
I don't know if the world's a better place, but it should taste good at the end.
Mate,
okay, guys, thanks for coming on again, Luke. Really appreciate you giving your time to this. And your book, Stress Teflon, is available where, mate?
From lukemathers.com.au, from Amazon. Yeah. You can also now listen to the audio book of it with my dulcet tones reading it out on Spotify. Just went live today. So you can actually listen to the audio book for free on Spotify. So
those of you struggling to sleep, download it tonight.
Lukey
Mathers tunes. Hey, mate, you've got that Instagram account where you put out positive thoughts every day. What's it called?
Yeah, finding.carlos.
Finding.carlos.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see the relationship.
It's a very important thing, finding Carlos. We might do a bit of finding Carlos one day when we're...
Let's talk about Carlos this week.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right,
hey, guys, thanks for being on board with Body Science. We love having you on board. Make sure you catch Dr. Craig, Dr. Brad, Harriet, Andy Jean, all of the people that are doing good things on our Facebook Live platform at the moment. We're loving having you on board. The numbers are up. It's great that people are listening. It's really nice to be able to do that for everybody. And just so you know, all of our experts that are jumping on are really thankful for your time and listening to what they do too. So a bit of serotonin hit for everybody there that's giving it as well as receiving it.
Absolutely.
Thanks, heaps. See you guys.